A new report from China, Beige Book, shows that growth, revenue, and profits grew year over year, while factories benefited from the threat of Trump tariffs. It's kind of not what you might think. Joining us now to break it all down, Shehzad Qazi, China Beige Book Chief Operating Officer. Why benefiting?
Well, I think what you've got is a lot of front-loading happening. So if you look at our export orders index, it's just exploded. It's at one of the highest levels we've seen at least since COVID, maybe even a little bit before that. So, companies are scared because of the coming tariffs, and they've placed their orders, and Chinese factories are taking full advantage and pumping out the product.
The stimulus, what do we know now about what China said they would do, what they're likely to do, and whether it's going to work?
Well, the idea that there was going to be big China stimulus coming proved to be basically completely wrong. And I think what we've got now is they're holding back their firepower because what they want to do is make money available next year to provide support to the economy. I'm really allergic to calling it stimulus still. I think what they want to do is make sure they can provide stability as the tariff threat really comes into action.
Interesting. Did the big move in some of the averages, is that reversed itself, or how, did David Tepper, was that a good call that he made?
I don't think so. I don't think that was a good call at all. That there was no reason for this to be a buy everything China rally. There was just no basis for it. You're talking about lifting sentiment? Sure. Look at what's going on within China, right? So you've got companies finally going out there and borrowing. It's aided sentiment a little bit, but I don't think this is going to last necessarily unless, of course, the Communist Party comes out next year with true big bang stimulus. I think low probability for that.
Was Trump's election China's worst nightmare, or do they know how to? It's a strange and complex relationship between countries and between the leaders of the countries. I think there's some kind of strange mutual respect, I think, between Xi and Trump. I don't know whether they're like, hey, fellow autocrat, what's going on? Good to see you. We both like, trampling on right. What is that?
So I think, look, they've dealt with President Trump before, but I think in terms of policy...
He is what he is. I mean, what you see is what you get with... Maybe they like that. There's not as much ambiguity or...
My personal view is that I think they would have much preferred a Harris presidency. I think the Biden administration has been slow and steady by comparison, and I think that's far easier an environment to be in and to deal with.
Why did legacy media say that China was rooting for Trump?
Well, look, who knows what's driving those views. But the fact is there's a lot of uncertainty ahead, including for the Chinese themselves, which is why I think they've held back, as I said, some of that fiscal support they want to provide. They don't know what's coming next year and how bad it's going to be, and they're keeping their options open.
So what could China do for Trump to say, all right, art of the deal, I'm not going to do these, the tariffs aren't going to be nearly as significant because China has agreed to do what for me? And would they? Is there a path to that?
There conceivably is. Look, last time around when the phase one deal was done, it was in many ways not the best deal, right? China made a bunch of promises, none of which really came true. Right now, it seems like the fentanyl crisis is really driving a lot of the president's thinking. So maybe some big pledges there would help. Is there a pathway to a deal? There probably is, but I think gaming it out right now is way too early. I think right now markets are probably much better off if they try to figure out what the tariff likelihood and what that game plan is going to look like rather than jumping ahead to the deal.
What could China do about fentanyl? And do you believe conspiracy theories that this is all part of a way of China maybe at least looking the other way in the hollowing out of American society? Is that really possible?
Are they trying to do opium wars in reverse? Maybe not, but could they really step up law enforcement? This is fundamentally it's an international narco trafficking law enforcement issue. Could countries do more? I am positive they could, including, of course, China.
Especially a country that supposedly knows everything that's happening within its borders and that controls so much of society. How is this allowed to flourish under that regime?
Absolutely. Look, I just had a conversation last week with somebody who got back, and the amount of surveillance that you see just even on the ground in China has stepped up massively now. So it is very hard for policymakers out here to believe that they don't have the capacity to...
They're doing anything other than turning a blind eye.
Okay, so they do something with fentanyl. There's no way that they can pull back on dumping EVs over here. You know they're going to do that.
That's right. Look, the overcapacity thing, it's built in. There's no telling China, oh, you have an overcapacity problem you need to solve. It is part and parcel of their economic policy. They've told you they are going to accelerate production of various high-end technologies. And if that means dumping the excess production abroad to dominate market share, that is part and parcel of the national strategy.
Then he's going to do something. Trump's going to do something about that.
The president's hand is going to be forced. And quite frankly, whoever would have been president, their hand would have been forced. We've got Donald Trump now. He's going to have to do something.
Well, they might have just said, don't.
That's basically what Janet Yellen has been saying for a while on it.
Don't. You know how well that works.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Or a red line.
But is that why it's so important to be cracking down on Canada and Mexico quickly because of the renegotiation of the new NAFTA?
Yeah, I think that's, it seems like
going to be the back door into.
That's, I think, part of it. And they're trying to come down on the transshipment issue, which is incredibly complicated because, again, we have to think about what our objectives are. Do we want to move supply chains out of China, or do we really want to go after anything that has a China ingredient, if you will, in it? A big question to be discussed.